Welcome to Mbuya Parent School and Kindergarten, situated in Kampala City with modern, well-equipped facilities plus extensive playing fields and amenities. Mbuya Parent School believes that a better future lies where children know how to find and create balances in themselves and the world around them. This explains our fusion of academic subjects and co-curricular activities. There are many opportunities presented to them to flourish both in and outside the classroom.
I want to become a president when I grow up.
I want to be a pilot.
I will be the best fashion designer.
Mbuya Parent School, the sky is our limit.
Dear candidates, I'm Teacher Ambrose, and I'm going to take you through P.7 Science Lesson 3 on the human skin. Before our today's lesson, we have some corrections we are going to make about the previous lesson. I know you did the work and you have the answers with you. Now we are going to check and see whether we got the questions correct. We had question 1, whereby we are required to give at least 2 functions of the human skin. Remember, in the previous lesson, we saw many functions of the human skin, whereby they included sensation, and we say the skin acts as the sense organ for feeling. Being the outer organ, it protects the inner parts of the body, and it helps us to regulate body temperature. So out of many functions of the skin, at least you are supposed to give 2. Now we are having those 2, but you check in the previous work, we have many. So we can say the skin helps in feeding, or we can also say the skin makes vitamin D using sunlight. Question 2 was, as you see it, giving the way how fats under the skin help to keep us warm in cold days. Remember, if you go to the layers of the skin, we said we have got epidermis, dermis, and then beneath the dermis, we had the subcutaneous fat layer. And that is the layer that is having fats. These fats act as insulators in our bodies. You remember, in P5 we talk about insulators, and insulators are substances that prevent heat loss, or they don't allow heat to pass through. Now, the fats insulate the body or regulate the body against heat loss. Question 3 on that work was giving the importance of shivering to the human body. How many of you usually shiver, especially in cold days, whereby the body shakes involuntarily and you find you can't control it? That one usually happens during cold days, and during shivering, the body generates heat. That means during cold days, the temperatures are very low, and the body generates heat, and that one leads to increase in body temperature. We had question 4, and question 4 was state the role played by each of the following parts of the skin. As I told you, by now I know you must be knowing all the parts of the skin. And I expect you as a candidate to be having your book, to be able to name all the parts of the human skin, label them on the diagram, and even identify the function of each part on the human skin. But we are required to give the functions of sweat glands. Remember, in our bodies, the glands produce fluids. For example, in P5 we talked about the salivary glands, which produce saliva. Now here, when we talk of sweat glands, then automatically the sweat glands produce sweat. Now during sweating, then the sweat is coming from the sweat glands. We have got blood capillaries as blood vessels. Remember, blood vessels in the body carry blood. Now these blood capillaries are also connected to the human skin, meaning they transport food and oxygen to the skin, and then that food and oxygen combine to produce energy, and then the skin having living cells It needs to get energy because respiration takes place there. Now, those are the questions and the answers. You are going to check the work, you are going to mark, and then you are going to make corrections in your work. And if you got all of them correct, that's good. Now, after that work, we had start our topic today. And today we are going to talk about diseases of the human skin. I know they are not new. We have been talking about diseases from P1 up to P7. Some of these diseases are not new to us. You may be having some. You may be having a friend with one of them. So I want you to get a book and at least write some of the diseases of the human skin that you know. And then you tell me how many you have written. And before that, by the end of this lesson, I expect you to be knowing the diseases of the human skin, their causes, the way they spread from one person to another, and the way we can prevent the skin diseases. When I talk about a disease is any condition that affects the normal functioning of the body organ or a body system. Now, for this case, we are talking about the diseases that affect the human skin as an excretory organ. Remember, diseases are caused by either bacteria and those caused by bacteria are what we call bacterial diseases. So when they say, name any one bacterial disease of the human skin, you will go to all the diseases of the skin and you will identify at least those caused by bacteria. We are having the third disease, and the third disease is athlete's foot. This disease is common among many school-going children, and it is caused by a fungus. That means it's a fungal disease, and it can be as a result of putting on too tight shoes or putting on wet stockings. When you get this disease, the skin between the toes and the fingers can be affected by the fungus. When you check here, this is someone's foot, and the skin got peeled off. If you check here, and then the nails can end up also getting affected. Now, as we said, it is a fungal disease, and it can be as a result of putting on too tight shoes or wet stockings. We can prevent this disease by putting on dry, clean stockings, and then putting on shoes that are not tight. And again, we can also disinfect the shoes. And we have the fourth disease, and the fourth disease is leprosy. Leprosy is caused by a bacterium known as leprae. Now, this bacterium affects the human skin, and it majorly affects these parts and even the toes. And when you get it, it leads to loss of some parts of the toes and the fingers. When you check here on this diagram, this person was suffering from leprosy. And as a result, someone can lose the sense of feeling because you get those dead cells piling up, and then the normal cells are removed from your body. And that one affects the nervous system, meaning you cannot be able to feel properly. Another disease, we are having jock itch. Say jock itch. Jock itch is a disease that can also come as a result of putting on tight clothes, especially the panties, and it usually affects the thighs, especially these parts here. When you check the diagram, this person was affected by jock itch. Now, if you are affected by this disease, you are going to find that you are ever scratching around this part, and it usually affects young children. It's also caused by a fungus, as you are seeing, meaning it is also a fungal disease. Another disease we are having is measles. Candidates, I want to believe that measles is not a new disease. In P5 under immunization, we talked about measles. And this measles can majorly affect young children. It is caused by a virus, meaning it is a viral disease. And we can make sure that we have prevented measles by immunizing children using measles vaccine. And the vaccine, you remember, it is always put on the left upper arm. When you get measles, you get rash on the body. You can see skin rash. You develop red eyes, and then there is discharge from the nostrils and even the eyes. Another disease, we are having a disease. If you read for me this word, the disease is impetigo. This disease affects majorly young children. When you check here, these are young people. It is a bacterial disease, meaning it's caused by bacteria. And when you get this disease, the signs, it leads to wounds on the mouth and on the nostrils. And then the effect can now go to other parts of the body. As you are seeing, these are the wounds on the mouth and even around the nostrils. The nostrils are these holes. And then at the end, the wounds can go on to other body parts. After impetigo, we have got another disease, and we call it boils. If you remember, candidates, we had a part called hair follicle on the skin. And that is the origin of the hair on your skin. Now that part inside the skin, as you are seeing, this is the hair. It gets swollen, or we call that one inflammation, and then you get pus coming out of that part. Now it begins from here, and then on your skin you are going to see such a sign, and then at the end you get wounds, and the wounds are going to be on the body, and then pus comes out of your body. Another disease is what you call skin cancer. Skin cancer can be as a result of exposure of the skin to what we call UV rays. Now, UV stands for ultraviolet rays. These can be, for example, dangerous sun rays. If you expose your skin to those rays, then the skin can get what you call skin cancer. Now, when you get skin cancer, the body fails to control the normal growth of the skin cells. And then you experience what you call abnormal growth of the skin cells, and that one leads to rotting of the skin. You get wounds. If you check here, you see this person is having wounds because the skins cannot grow normally. And then the result will appear like what you are seeing here. Another disease we are having is chickenpox. Chickenpox is also a viral disease. It is immunizable, and therefore we can prevent chickenpox by using what you call chickenpox vaccine, or you go for immunization. When you check here, when you get chickenpox, you get blisters with pus. And after recovery, you are likely to remain with scars on the body, as you see on this diagram. Another disease we are having is a German measles. German measles is also called rubella, and it is a viral disease. You remember from the way I started, we have got viral diseases, bacterial diseases, and fungal diseases. Now, viral diseases, as we have seen, they are all immunizable. Now, this rubella vaccine is like the measles we saw, but this one can affect both children and old people or adults. If you are to avoid rubella, then you have to go for immunization, and they give you what you call MR vaccine, whereby it stands for measles, mumps, rubella. Meaning this vaccine is given to you and it prevents you against 3 diseases: measles, mumps, rubella. Now, when you are immunized against rubella, then when you get it, the body gets the immunity to fight against it. Now, when you check, like the other measles, it also leads to skin rash, as you are seeing. Your skin will appear as you are seeing here. Now, candidates, I know you are able now to tell me the diseases of the skin, their causes, the way they spread, and even how we can avoid them. But we have got a summary of the diseases. Where we have got a disease, we have got the cause, as you are seeing the work here. Meaning, you should be able to have your book, you write the disease and the cause. And you should be able to mention the disease and its cause without seeing anywhere. Others can be caused by viruses, and then others can be caused by fungi. Those caused by viruses are called viral diseases. Those caused by fungi are called fungal diseases. Now, when we go to the diseases of the human skin, the first disease we are going to talk about is ringworm. Ringworm is common. You can be having a friend with ringworm, or you may find you have ever been having ringworm. It is caused by a fungus. That means it is a fungal disease. And when you get ringworm, you get red patches on the skin. When you check on this diagram, you see someone that was affected by ringworm, and these are the signs. So when you see such signs on your body, then it is a sign that you may be having ringworm disease. And we can prevent that disease by avoiding sharing clothing with infected people, avoiding body contact with infected people, and then you make sure you don't have that disease. The second disease today is scabies. Scabies is caused by what you call itch mite. This is the cause. It is caused by itch mite. And when you get scabies, then you get affected, especially between the toes and the finger and the fingers. When you check here, you are going to find that this part is affected, and the effect can continue to other body parts. It is also contagious, meaning it can spread through close body contact with an infected person. And that means if we are to prevent it, we avoid body contact with an infected person. So candidates, after seeing diseases, their causes, and the way they spread, remember we said most of them are contagious. Most of them can be as a result of poor personal hygiene. It means we have got general ways of preventing skin diseases. Now, if we don't want to get skin diseases, it means we carry out the following. We have to bathe at least twice a day. That means whenever you are dirty, you have to bathe. We have to make sure that we avoid contact with infected people. When you see someone with one of the signs that I've talked about, make sure you are never in close contact with that person. We have got sharing of clothes. It is not good to share clothes, beddings, towels, and bathing sponges. But if you are to do it, then you are supposed to wash the clothes, and after washing the clothes, you iron them, you put on those clothes. We have washing and ironing clothes before wearing them. Apart from that, we have to make sure, remember we talked about the skin cancer, and we said it comes as a result of exposing the skin to ultraviolet rays or using dangerous chemicals on the skin. And for this case, you have, if possible, you have to visit the doctor and get the right Vaseline and medicated soap to use on your skin. Otherwise, if you apply dangerous chemicals, then you are going to end up having what you call skin cancer. We said some of the diseases are immunizable, and those that are immunizable can be prevented by immunizing the children or old people using the specific vaccines for those diseases. So by immunization, we prevent some of the skin diseases. Candidates today, that is the end of our lesson. But remember, as I told you, we are to have the work. And this work, you are going to do it in your books, and you have to make sure that all the questions are correct. I want to thank you for attending the lesson. Stay home and have structured activities so that you are not redundant, so that you are always useful. Thank you.